Hi, this is Brenda Murphy. I'm the founder and president of SailAway Learning and Academy, and today I'm going to introduce you to some of the possibilities that we've been exploring to establish a microschool for students who fall through the cracks in the Knoxville, Tennessee, East Tennessee area for the 2017-2018 school year. First, I'd like to share with you about the mission of SailAway. The mission of SailAway is actually an acrostic for our name, Sail Away. The first word, sail, stands for serve all in love. The AW stands for academic wisdom, and year. And you're probably wondering what that word is. Year, that's a mighty funny word. However, it was a very popular word in the 1800s when there were a lot of sailing ships crossing the oceans and going down rivers. It means to be quick at the helm. So at SailAway, we believe that our first mission is to serve all in love, both students and families, with academic wisdom to know exactly the best theories, the best methods, the best approaches to use with each child, and to do it quickly. So you may also wonder, what is a microschool? Well, a microschool is a very small school, and it was developed to meet the specific needs of a small number of students. That would usually be 10 or fewer students, and certainly no more than 20 students in a SailAway Microschool. One of the reasons we keep the number so small is we believe that the learning environments in a SailAway Microschool should be very affirming and comforting, that it would be a safe place for students. The student profile, those 10 to 20 students that we have, can change from school to school in the SailAway Microschool network, and it can also change from year to year depending on student needs. First, I'd like to next tell you a little bit about our history, and it started under the shade of an oak tree. I wonder how on earth did a school start in the shade of an oak tree? Well, SailAway's history began actually with my career as a home educator. In 1993, I was on a field trip with my 5 sons at a science museum in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, one of their facilities on the lake. And we were taking a break, and another mom and I were sitting under an oak tree, and she shared that she was having struggles with reading with her children, and I shared that I had struggles with my children. However, I had been a trained reading specialist with a specific program, a multisensory methodology, and she said she had heard that that would work for her kids. So I said I'd be glad to help. And I did every day, to the point that in 1994, I decided that fielding a phone call from a parent every day was not the best way to train them. So we began with our first training workshops in 1994 in Knoxville, Tennessee. By 1995, those workshops had expanded nationwide, and we were delivering what we called Understanding the Way workshops to teach your children how to read, to teach your children how to read. And out of those workshops, SailAway Literacy was birthed. And then shortly after that, the original Learning Center opened, and our idea at that time was just to teach a few children to read. By 1997, the reading practice had expanded into a full-blown learning center, and we incorporated as Understanding the Way Incorporated. And as I look at that date, 1997, and this is 2017, it's hard to believe that 20 years have passed since those first days. In 1998, we continued tutoring services and literacy development and teacher training. In 1999, we actually opened our full-time academy, and I had a couple of tutoring families approach me about teaching their children along with my own and my homeschool, and I said I could only do that if I had another teacher. So uh, the Lord brought a teacher, and we began with one full-time teacher in 1997 as a part of a full-time academy. By 2003, The population in the school had expanded to the point that the kids were spilling out all over our house. In fact, they were um, in the stairwell and in many different places. And so at that point, we moved to our current facility, which is in Kingston, Tennessee. And uh, as you can see, it was a house that we renovated, but we renovated it with the thought in mind that we wanted our students to feel at home with their learning, and we wanted them to be comfortable and know that they were affirmed. So after we moved to that facility in 2005, we actually expanded the full-time academy to a large number of students. And continue to have a growing full-time academy. We do graduate our kids, and they have gone on to do great things. Some of them have gone on to have stellar university or college careers, and even gone on to graduate programs and law and medicine. So we're very proud of our graduates. In the year 2008, we were accepted for membership into the uh, Tennessee Association of Non-Public Academic Schools. That's a mouthful, but the acronym TANIS is easy to say, and it is one of the organizations licensed by the state of Tennessee to affirm that their member schools could grant high school diplomas, and those diplomas would be recognized in colleges and universities the world over, and that's true of SailAway's diplomas. In 2010, I began a personal note. I began my doctoral studies, and the reason that I began my doctoral studies was I knew that with the undergraduate and graduate degrees that I had, there were things that I could know more about how to help our kids that span a range from kids that struggle horrifically with very profound learning disabilities all the way to those that are extremely gifted. So I wanted to know more how to help each of those. And at this point, I am a doctoral candidate. Will be beginning my dissertation research hopefully within the next month or two, and look forward to providing our students and families with even more knowledge of leading edge educational research. In 2011, shortly after I began my doctoral studies, we opened a satellite office in West Knoxville to serve our families there. And currently we do have one of our full-time students is at our West Knoxville office, so we've used that from time to time. In 2012, um, we developed a partnership with Roane State Community College to develop ACT prep workshops. We were proud of that partnership, and in fact, we are getting ready this year to have additional workshops per the request of school counselors in our local high schools. It's an important thing in this day and age for students to do well on the ACT test. Then in 2013, we received our approved 501c3, which is a not-for-profit organization. It's called the Principle Project. It's founded on the principles that underlie everything we do at SailAway, and the mission of that organization is to open the wonder of what we've experienced in the past 20 years and the great strides our students have made to becoming very proficient adults and contributing members to our society. Hopefully with the 501c3 designation, we'll be able to offer those services to more students in both rural and urban areas, not only in Tennessee, but around the country. In 2015, we became an approved, a preferred provider for CogMed, which is a very powerful computer-based therapy to help working memory. Many of our children who fall through the cracks, working memory is at the crux, at the very heart of what's going on there. So Um, we offer that as a service to our Microschool students as well as students in our homeschool program and other families that we work with. So um, this past year, 2016, we've been refining our Microschool model and are excited about opening this new model for kids who fall through the cracks in the coming year. Um, a lot of people wonder what are our credentials for being able to provide the services that we do. One of our credentials is that we hold the membership in the Tennessee Association of Non-Public Academic Schools. I have been privileged and honored to serve as an advisor to TANIS for close to 8 years now, and have been an advisor to the Tennessee Home Education Association for the past 3 years. And in those roles, it opens up the opportunity for SailAway to be a contributing member on a much higher level in the private education field. I'm now a doctoral candidate in educational psychology at the University of Tennessee, and feel very privileged to have a seminal thinker in the field of reading and literacy on my committee. Dr. Richard Allington is a past president of the International Reading Association. It's now called the International Literacy Association, and has been inducted into the Reading Hall of Fame. I am very confident that his input to our toolkit at SailAway is going to provide immeasurable support for the families that work with us. And it's hard to believe I've been teaching for 30 years. Began with my own children, my own 5 sons, and it transitioned into teaching other people's children about 20 years ago when we began SailAway. Our faculty, we often have certified teachers on our staff and faculty. However, that is not a criteria. We look for individuals who have exceptional academic records. They have a history of involvement with children and care about children. We also ask that our staff believe in and adhere to biblical principles. We are a faith-based school. We're not a Christian school in the sense that we follow a structured Christian curriculum that's called a Christian curriculum. We find the materials that are best for our children, but we do adhere to biblical principles. So we have a vision for SailAway in East Tennessee, for our East Tennessee Microschool, beginning in this school year 2017 and 2018. The first part of our vision is, first and foremost, we want to provide a safe environment for our students, for our middle school to high school students, and those are students who are falling through the cracks. We want them to learn and grow socially, academically, and emotionally in a safe environment. Those students will also be ones that have average to above average abilities. However, they are the ones that lag in academic achievement. They have the potential, they're smart, but they don't reach it. They never reach personal and individual potential, both in academics as well as social situations. They also, this is an important point for this microschool, is they do not display behavioral problems. SailAway as an organization has worked very successfully with children that have a history of displaying behavioral issues in the classroom, and there will be a microschool at some point to deal with the children who face those challenges. However, this microschool this year will not be created to deal specifically with those kinds of issues. Parents also want to know, what is our schedule? Again, this is an exploratory presentation. We are putting our ideas out there and are open to feedback from parents. Parents want to know, what does the schedule look like? Well, we are projecting a Monday through Thursday 9 to 3:30 schedule. with the possibility of being available for Skyping and doing other things on Friday. The student-teacher ratio is going to be very small, 5 students to 1 teacher. If we go above that, we will have an additional teacher. In order for the school to kind of make for this year, we will ask for a minimum of 5 students. SailAway also presents with a philosophical approach as student-centered. What that means is that we look at the students in our program and give them what they need. We don't say this is our program, and if your children or your child fits in here, that's well and good, but if they don't, we're going to try to stuff them into this square box. That's not the way it works. We find ways to make our program fit the needs of our students. As far as the methodologies that we use, we are very interactive. We don't necessarily, if you walk into a SailAway classroom, you may not see students sitting there quietly filling in worksheets. You probably will not see that. It will be more hands-on. It will be project-based and project-based, problem-based, which means that it will have an objective and students will develop the learning skills and the content knowledge that's necessary through projects rather than just reading textbooks all the time. For many families, this is good news. We have minimal outside assignments, and homework is not the routine. I do not believe that a child who has been in our school for 6.5, 7 hours a day need to have more work at home, so we don't believe in homework. The next thing we're going to discuss is the application process. There are 7 steps to that process, and we will attach a document that has more details about the process. The first step is an application, and you can go to our website under SailAway Academy, and there is an application. It's a fillable form, and it will upload directly to our information processing. So that is step 1. Step 2 is where staff will review your application, and when you do make your application, you'll see that there is a $350 non-refundable application fee. That application fee covers what we do in step 3, which is we have required screening assessments. That's to make sure that the students that we admit for next year fit the criteria that we've established for this particular microschool. If they don't fit that particular criteria, we will say put that in a development stack, and when we have students that meet similar criteria, we'll develop another microschool for that. So the family will have their children come, and we will review that admissions assessment results. Step 5 is an in-person interview. We also have a more in-depth health and history form to get to know your students a little bit better. After we have the in-person interview, we review the health and history form as well as the required screening assessments. Then we will determine whether a student is a good fit, a good match for our SailAway Microschool for this year, and the family will receive an acceptance notification, and at that point we also will expect a response with an intent to enroll. When that intent to enrollment is received, we will schedule a complete diagnostic and academic assessment battery, which will be the basis for our individually crafted education plans for each child. So one final thing is that we do have a required parent meeting at the beginning of every school year, and we'll go over that. That will be in our school. We're projecting will start in late August, possibly early September, but that again is when we have our student body together. We'll make that decision and somewhat with the parents' input as well. Now, of course, the biggest question most people are interested in is what are the fees and tuitions? There's only one fee, and that is our application fee that we discussed in the application process, and it's a $350 non-refundable fee. Then the tuition is what we call all-inclusive. In most private schools, there are fees for technology and books and materials and all sorts of other things. The only we we have everything is covered by our monthly fee, and we have two possibilities, two options. We can pay either a 10-month tuition fee, which is $17.75 a month, or we can opt for a 12-month, which is a $14.85 monthly tuition fee. Um, there's an asterisk by the all-inclusion, and that's to let you know that we do not include meals, field trips. There are certain cognitive enhancement programs that would be additional. If we do art and music lesson specific, there will be special fees for that. But otherwise, everything else, books, materials, technology, as well as the end of the year testing is all included in the tuition fees. So we would love to engage you in conversation or in comments or questions about the SailAway Microschool. There are additional details on the website, as well as some links that you'll be able to access to get more information, with also email addresses and telephone numbers if you would like to converse with you. We would certainly love the opportunity to talk with you about the benefits of a SailAway Microschool for your child's educational needs. Thank you so much for participating.